Hi there, I'm Ray Collins. Scott Dennis is off today. Our top story at noon. Deputies teamed up with the FBI to search a home in Lake Sarasota they say could have been used to make bombs. A hazmat team was brought into a home on Tonga Drive off Bee Ridge Road east of I-75. Deputies from both Hillsborough and Sarasota County searched the scene with the FBI. 23-year-old Kenneth Iverson reportedly lived in this home part-time with his mother. Deputies arrested him after he was allegedly found buying bomb-making items at a store in Hillsborough County. Iverson is facing several charges, including drug possession and resisting arrest. The investigation is ongoing. New at noon, a boating accident last night killed a person on Sarasota Bay. It happened near the Ringley Museum. According to Florida Fish and Wildlife, 2 people were on board the 20-foot motorboat when one fell off on a turn. The passengers swam to shore. The Coast Guard recovered the body of the driver of the boat. FWC will investigate. The search is on for an armed robber in Manatee County. It happened at the Circle K on 30th Avenue East in Bradenton just after midnight. Deputies say a man walked into the store and pointed a gun at the clerk and ran off with cash. The suspect's described as a black male with a black jacket, a green hoodie, and tan pants. If you can help, call Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS. A local foundation is looking to help kids addicted to heroin. The Manatee Community Foundation is meeting today to discuss issues affecting foster children and come up with solutions to better serve them. Also taking part, Manatee Children's Services, Florida Department of Children and Families, and the Safe Children's Coalition. The team will meet 6 times over the next 2 months. A no swim advisory is no longer on for Manatee County. It's been lifted. Palmasola Beach south in Bradenton is no longer under a health alert. Water samples tested came back with a high level of bacteria the past week, but now health officials say those levels have since dropped back down. New this afternoon, severe weather is ravaging the Gulf Coast. At least 9 tornadoes were reported in Louisiana alone. ABC's Lana Zak has details.
Stunning damage in the aftermath of a tornado in New Orleans East. Power lines snapped, cars tossed, houses flattened.
It survived Katrina, but it didn't survive this.
Families across the Gulf Coast today dealing with the aftermath of 9 reported tornadoes.
This is where the house originally sit, and the tornado, that's the result of it right there.
Despite losing everything, many are counting their blessings.
This is hard, but this is material things, you know, and we just thank God for life.
After the twister hit, Richard Pierre found his elderly mother-in-law's home completely flattened.
We just started pulling the rafters and debris and furniture out the way.
And then a miracle.
It's amazing the whole living room's collapsed, but it collapsed around the way. She wasn't touched or injured.
The tornadoes so random in their fury. Look at this house, the roof gone, the bed remains intact. Elsewhere in the country, damage of a different sort. Flooding in the west, a new storm threatening the entire Pacific coast. And on the other side of the country, a winter snap so severe more than 50 cars smashed together in a major pileup on this road outside of Boston.
Millions are bracing for a winter storm that will be all the more shocking for the sudden change here in New York's Central Park, near record highs. But tomorrow they're predicting this place will have 6 to 10 inches of snow. Lana Zak, ABC News, New York.
And the northern Gulf states, John, it's not over yet, huh?
Yeah, not so much. Actually, the bullseye will probably be just on the foothills of the Appalachians as the system moves across. And I think the mid-Atlantic is also possibly under the gun. But yeah, another system is a 1-2 punch. Yeah. And the second system coming through, not only will it possibly have some tornadic activity, about a 2% chance of that, but also, it's, as she just mentioned in that report, it's going to lay down some snow over probably half a dozen states, probably 6 inches of snow or better. So I think tomorrow into the day after tomorrow, we'll be looking at some real travel headaches for a lot of the country. But we're doing all right. Here's from the Storm Prediction Center, the latest predictions. And there is a slight risk from Atlanta northward up through the Virginias almost of a potential of tornadic activity today. So again, this is the system. This one is going to be the one that brings a cold front through our area tomorrow. without a whole lot of fanfare, but it will bring us some very changing weather, which we're going to detail in a few minutes. A lot of sunshine out there right now. Daytime highs again topping out very warm. Southwest wind bringing us lots of humidity today. But again, all that changes with this next system that's going to move through tomorrow. We'll talk about it in just a few minutes, Ray.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. A new paint job is now underway at this hour in downtown Bradenton. Artist Eduardo Mendita is painting a mural on the side of the Judicial Center parking garage. It's part of the Walk Bradenton project organized by the group Realize Bradenton. The mural should be done by Friday. Officials from Realize Bradenton say it's one small way to attract more millennials to the area.
The piece is really to send a message that Bradenton welcomes and looks forward to millennials and how they're going to get involved in this community, and that we're really a place where millennials can make their mark.
And the idea is having different faces on the wall representing the different people in the community, and then all the colors melding together to become one.
Another mural is also being done at Keaton's Office and Art Supply Store, also in downtown Bradenton. Well, this studio smells great right now. Wish you were here. Let's get details of that from Judy Gallagher. Judy.
Well, Ray, I think I have your lunch all set for you if you like blue cheese. I was in Colorado and had a wonderful steak from a butcher shop, and they were selling blue cheese butter on the side. It was so bright. By adding the bacon to it, I've kind of taken that component. Bought chicken breasts yesterday, always on a Tuesday at the Fresh Market when they're on sale. So I saved enough money to be able to buy a high quality blue cheese. When you're cooking with blue cheese, don't buy the crumbles. Go for a wedge of a really good farmstead type of blue cheese. We're gonna sear those chicken breasts, bring in some organic asparagus and fingerling potatoes, and really bring the flavor up.
ABC 7 News at 7 weeknights.
I am committed to getting the results you deserve. I know how stressful and intimidating buying a new home can be. I'm here today to let you know that I can make your buying process enjoyable and pleasant. I am Teresa Witt with SWC Properties. Let me be your guide from start to finish and turn your dreams into a reality.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
Peace of mind is really crucial. The safety and security of this higher level of care, I think, is really important. Great nurses, great doctors, technologies that can really help when you are dealing with complications, high-risk newborns, or the infants that have medical conditions. This is the kind of care that we want at our public hospital.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yeah, clearly we did not have a cold front move through. We're at 75 degrees already, and we're headed to probably a high of around 78. I think we'll see that temperature drop by 5 degrees tomorrow. maybe more, depending on the exact timing of the front. I think it'll probably be through by around this time tomorrow. 69-degree dew point, hot and sticky out there. Thank you now to that westerly component to our southwest wind. So south-southwest coming in at about 13, just long fetch over Gulf waters, bringing up the moisture and the humidity across the region. Yeah, we got some sunshine out there, but boy, does it feel sticky. Around the region, we have temperatures that are pretty much near the 80-degree mark in a lot of places. We do have 80 in Punta Gorda, 79 Wauchula, Arcadia, Mayaca, 78 in Parrish and Bradenton, 77 Lakewood Ranch, and a couple of 73s in Venice and Inglewood, closer to the coastline there. 69 degrees being reported at Longboat Key. I don't think we'll have much in the way of rainfall today. It's pretty much done. We had that little impulse in the atmosphere come on through, that little pocket of cooler air aloft that helped support a few thunderstorms around. That's now gone. It's out in the Atlantic, so things are quiet. But to the north of us in northern Gulf waters, we've got some ongoing showers there. And we have that developing system that is really yet to get cranking, but will later on today and through tonight, actually, could be a nighttime storm event for a lot of places like Kentucky, Tennessee, parts of the Carolinas, West Virginia, parts of Alabama, Georgia, maybe seeing some rough weather tonight as this system progresses eastward. Meanwhile, the Ohio Valley stretching back into the heartland, seeing snow showers, and they could get as much as 6 inches of snow as that whole system drifts off toward the northeast, where there will be snow as well. As I mentioned, bullseye for severe weather might include parts of say Charlotte Airport. Could see some airport delays toward late night tonight. So if you're traveling to that airport hub, be advised there could be some problems there. For us, the southwest wind comes around the periphery of that high pressure ridge, which is going to provide us with the moisture necessary to perhaps produce a few showers in the long term. This area of low pressure drifts to the east. As it does so, this front is pushed south as high builds in behind it. That's where we get our chance of showers by tomorrow morning as that front sinks southward, and so too do the showers. I don't think we're looking at any kind of a severe weather event with this one. I don't even think we'll see much in the way of thunderstorm activity with this one, but we certainly could see a few scattered showers starting tonight and going through tomorrow morning, then kind of clearing pretty rapidly tomorrow afternoon as winds shift to the northeast, and that drier, cooler air filters in, leaving us with a beautiful couple of days after we get through about half of tomorrow. Sunshine has returned. We're looking for a humid afternoon, and we wait for that cold front to move in tomorrow. Forecast calls for a south wind coming in at about 10 knots, but boaters, remember, with that cold front coming through tomorrow, the winds are going to be picking up a little bit. It'll get breezy around here tomorrow afternoon. 75, we'll call it, for a daytime high tomorrow. And then on Friday, about 73 with nighttime lows in the low 50s, upper 40s in inland areas. And then through the weekend, dry, sunny, beautiful weather. Back to you, Rick.
Sounds good. Thank you, John. On to health news now. An Iranian family received a federal waiver to receive health care in this country. 4-month-old Fatima Rashad was admitted to a children's hospital in Portland, Oregon. The infant will be undergoing a life-saving procedure to treat a heart defect. Now, she had been scheduled to meet with doctors last week, but the family was rerouted back to Iran because of the president's ban on travel from 7 countries, including Iran. A new law in Arkansas allows husbands to sue a doctor to stop wives from having an abortion. The law is called the Unborn Child Protection from Dismemberment Act, which prohibits the most common procedure used in second trimester abortions. The ACLU claims the law is unconstitutional and plans to challenge it in court before it goes into effect later on this year. Kansas and Oklahoma passed similar laws, which are both tied up in the courts. Heavy lifting can take a toll on fertility. Yeah, doctors are finding that jobs that require carrying heavy loads on a daily basis can reduce a woman's fertility, particularly among overweight and obese women. Working overnight, late shifts, or rotating shifts can also impact fertility. For new mothers, the pressure to give their babies the best nutrition can be oftentimes overwhelming. Many are told they should breastfeed, but what happens when you aren't physically able to do so? ABC's Dania Backus shows us a new concept of, ready? Breast milk sharing.
Corinne Papo-Glass knew she wasn't going to be able to breastfeed. At just 28 years old, she had a preventative double mastectomy after testing positive for the BRCA1 gene that increased her risk for breast and ovarian cancer. But what she didn't expect...
He went from being this really sort of content, smiley baby to just clearly uncomfortable.
Her son Jackson's adverse reaction to formula. Running out of options, she and her wife Amy were desperate to find a way to feed their son.
We put an APB out on Facebook, and within hours the replies were just, and I was nervous to do it because it's a very personal thing to ask.
I'm blessed with an oversupply.
Janelle Myers-McFarlane was one of the women to answer the call.
I can always make more, I can pump more, and there are babies that need it.
According to the Journal of Perinatal Education, the practice of using a wet nurse, a woman who breastfeeds another's child, was common before the introduction of bottle feeding and formula. But in the age of the internet, mothers are turning to strangers through social media and online breastfeeding groups. The FDA recommends against this type of milk sharing, suggesting milk banks instead.
We do the screening on the moms. Verbally, we ask about medical history, what kinds of medications they're on.
The nonprofit Mother's Milk Bank's focus is on premature babies, but it also helps mothers like Corinne, though most need a prescription and there could be a price tag of nearly $3 an ounce. For now, Corinne and Amy say they will continue to use Janelle, a mother they trust, to provide the precious nutrition for Jackson.
It's a special relationship that can only be had with, a limited number of people. Yeah.
Danya Backus, ABC News, Los Angeles.
One of the leading causes of death over 65 is falling down. According to the National Council of Aging, one popular myth is about falling down being normal. The truth is it's not. Strength and balance exercises, having your vision checked, and making your living environment safer are all steps you can take to prevent a fall. But performing physical activities will also help as well, and also social activities, and good for your overall health. Still to come on your Suncoast News, the NFL looking to bring more awareness to the health conditions of its retired players, how a $1 billion settlement can help bring that to life. And later, Murder in Paradise, the circumstances that caused an adventure-loving woman to lose her life in Central America. We'll be right back.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com, AndServices.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on MySuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to MySuncoast.com/dining.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better eater.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Flooring Depot has been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties for over 20 years with the best products and installation. Flooring Depot offers carpet, tile, hardwood, and more. Before you buy, give us a try. Stop by our showroom or visit us on the web at bestvaluecarpet.com.
Florida's last private island is a waterfront lifestyle like no other. This is Harbor Isle, just 5 minutes from the sugar sand beaches of Anna Maria Island. This sun-splashed paradise invites you to enjoy natural adventures and all the recreation of a tropical resort. Island coach homes and waterfront condos are now available from the high 400s, plus incredible savings on move-in ready homes. Come tour 6 designer models. This is the time of your life. Make it island time at Harbor Isle. Go to mintofla.com now.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Happening today, a federal judge in Philadelphia is live streaming a hearing in a lawsuit about NFL concussions. The league is moving forward with the $1 billion settlement for retired players. It resolves thousands of lawsuits that accuse the NFL of hiding what it knew about the risks of repeated concussions in order to return players to the field faster. The first $65 million in payments will be put in a trust fund. They'll cover injury claims, baseline testing, and education. A health setback for a former NFL running back and national sportscaster. 67-year-old Mike Adamle says he has dementia. He says he can no longer work or drive. He was a network reporter and worked in local news in Chicago. Dementia is a degenerative brain disease. Well, it didn't take long for the Atlanta Falcons to sign a new offensive coordinator. Steve Sarkisian was a college coach for the Washington Huskies and USC Trojans. He replaces Kyle Shanahan, who took the head coaching job yesterday with the San Francisco 49ers. Let's get back to lunch now for details with Chef Judy on today's special. Judy?
Okay, so here we go. So we have those boneless chicken breasts that I bought on sale. Pounded them out so they're like cutlets. That's going to really expand the serving portion because you don't need too big a piece. I have about 1.5 tablespoons of high quality olive oil in the pan, salt and pepper both sides, and then in the pan we go. Don't even need flour, so this is a good way to keep it gluten-free. You're gonna get just a sear on this chicken breast, about 3 to 4 minutes per side. We're gonna turn it over part way, and once it's turned over, we're gonna add some minced shallots. I love the flavor. I mean, it's just really bringing that basic French cooking skill of simple ingredients, bringing bright flavors. Put your oven at 400 degrees because we're going to pop the pan in the oven just to finish it off to make sure it's cooked all the way through, but also we're going to use our asparagus. Now I want to show you this. Notice there's 2 different bunches of asparagus. Some are thicker than the others, so I'm going to keep my eye on the ones that are thinner because they may need to come out about a minute or 2 ahead of time. Little salt and pepper, just a little on the salt because we're going to be using that blue cheese butter that we're going to be making on top of that. Cheese naturally has salt, right? Blue cheese has a fair amount in it because it's an aged cheese, and then of course we have bacon. So while this chicken is cooking, I'm going to jack up that heat there. You can go ahead and par cook some of these delicious fingerling potatoes. Notice we have some red, we have some purple, really light, bright. Even if you're eating low carb, 1 or 2 potatoes just kind of goes really well. So you can cook those the day before, start them out in cold water, use heavy on the salt because that's going to seep through into the potatoes. So I'm going to give this a little stir around and the shallots are going to melt down. Perfect. Now we're going to take some fresh thyme, and I always like to remind you, when you're buying some herbs that come in a container, open up the box because it's so fun. They have recipes right on the other side. So you need it for this recipe. What else are you going to use thyme for? According to the inside, it says you can use it in that macaroni and cheese recipe. So there's always ways that you can use up your fresh herbs if you want, or dehydrate themselves. So we come back, we're going to actually work on the blue cheese bacon butter. Oh, it's so delish. Stay with me. I'm coming back with a simple but a delicious meal in just a few minutes.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair. Where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500, starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
And welcome back. More charges for the woman wanted for several murders in North Florida. 37-year-old Mary Rice faces charges of accessory after the fact to capital murder in the deaths of 2 women in Pensacola. She also faces capital murder and robbery charges for the death of a woman in Alabama. There are actually 4 victims overall. The other suspect, William Boyette, killed himself with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A vacation in paradise ends in death for a young American woman. She was traveling to Panama when she disappeared. As ABC's Gio Benitez tells us, her body was found days later on a hiking trail.
This morning, a mystery on a tiny Panamanian island. A globe-trotting 23-year-old from New York, Catherine Johannet, found dead in paradise. She was visiting Bocas del Toro, an explorer's dream. This YouTube video showing epic hikes and pristine beaches. Johannet posting on Instagram from one just a week ago. But when she didn't return from a solo day trip to a nearby island Thursday, she was reported missing. After 3 days of searching, a police officer found her body along a hiking trail. Her family seen here arriving from the U.S. Monday to identify her body.
I'm going to guess, based on the reaction of the Panamanians, that this probably is, there's some wrongdoing going on here someplace in this case, and it may well be a murder.
Now investigators are racing to determine whether there was foul play. Authorities awaiting autopsy results before declaring this a criminal investigation. The FBI now standing by to help with a possible investigation.
Is there anything at the scene where she was found that would help identify a potential suspect? And then obviously, were there any witnesses in proximity?
And now Johannet's sister writing on Facebook, "My family is thinking of all our beautiful memories with our laughing, adventurous, warm little girl."
Police aren't sure how Catherine died. The State Department says it'll work closely with Panamanian officials to help the grieving family and solve that situation. A Penn State fraternity has been suspended after the death of one of its members. Police say 19-year-old Timothy Piazza fell down a basement stairwell last Thursday night. His frat brothers moved his unconscious body to a couch, but waited 12 hours to call police. Police say Piazza was intoxicated when he fell. They believe the death was accidental. Government officials in Israel are preparing for an internal showdown with a fight to legalize settlements in occupied territories. A petition was filed today to Israel's Supreme Court challenging the so-called regulation law. It would allow Israel to retroactively legalize outposts and settlements built on privately owned Palestinian land. It's a law the nation's own Attorney General has refused to defend and is even being called a war crime.
Yahoo will be here on the 15th. I think that'll be obviously a topic of discussion right now. I don't want to get ahead of that.
Countries like France and Germany are asking Israel to take the law back. Since President Trump took office, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ramped up expansion of settlements, approving more than 6,000 housing units. Well, on a lighter note, happy birthday to the Boy Scouts. They're marking 107 years of service today. National Boy Scout Day commemorates the birth of the organization. It began in 1910 and since has influenced over 100 million boys, from surviving in the wild to tying a good knot to the importance of the golden rule. You ever a Boy Scout, John?
No, I was a boy before they started being.
That's right. You were a busboy at the Last Supper, I understand.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. No, I was an Indian guide with the YMCA.
Nice.
Which is kind of a similar sort of thing.
I was an altar boy. Does that count for anything?
Sure it does.
All right.
Counts for a lot. We have some pretty nice weather out there, Ray. I think that counts for something as well here on the Sun Coast. You know, we had those showers around this morning, but then, boy, as soon as the sun rose, it was just beautiful out there. A little humid, yes, from time to time, but you know what? We've got some fair weather clouds out there, and I think that's about as bad as it gets for the rest of the day. Tonight and tomorrow, kind of a different story. I think we'll start to pick up another round of showers, perhaps. We're already seeing some thicker cloud cover in parts of North Florida, all associated with a little trough of low pressure developing there. As we head into the next 24, I think we'll start to see some cooler temps, but today is not a cool temperature day. We'll top it out at about 78 degrees, significantly above average by about 5 degrees or so. I think as we head into the next 24 degrees, we'll be a lot closer to our normals for several days in a row. I think a lot of people will like that. We'll talk all about the forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, John. An update now on the controversial Dakota Access Pipeline. The pipeline could get clearance to finish construction as soon as today. President Trump signed an executive order to speed up the process. That area is occupied by the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, which gets its drinking water from a nearby lake. They fear the pipeline will cause water contamination. Pipeline developers say they should be able to finish the work in a little over 3 months once it has the go-ahead. The Standing Rock tribe and supporters are promising to fight the case in court. Meantime, President Trump is taking aim at the federal judges who will decide the fate of his travel ban. ABC's Janiyah Norman has more on that, as well as a senator who was silenced on Capitol Hill.
President Trump still railing against the legal challenge that put a halt to his executive order on immigration.
I don't ever want to call a court biased, so I won't call it biased. And we haven't had a decision yet. But courts seem to be so political.
The fate of that immigration ban from 7 majority Muslim countries now up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, though the president has acknowledged the case could go all the way to the Supreme Court. But today insisting that shouldn't be necessary because the law is on his side.
If you were a good student in high school or a bad student in high school, you can understand this. And it's really incredible to me that we have a court case that's going on so long.
While he takes on the judicial branch of government, in Congress, Democrats again protesting all night, this time against the confirmation of Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions for Attorney General. The debate turning contentious after Republican senators formally silenced Senator Elizabeth Warren.
She had appeared to violate the rule. She was warned. She was given an explanation. Nevertheless, she persisted.
Warren read the decades-old words of Ted Kennedy and Coretta Scott King, who opposed Sessions' bid to become a federal judge in the 80s.
I am surprised that the words of Coretta Scott King are not suitable for debate in the United States Senate.
Some of Warren's Democratic colleagues read the same letter from Coretta Scott King on the Senate floor that led to her sanction, but none of them suffered the same punishment. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
The U.S. military is looking to move into Trump Tower. Officials will rent space for personnel and equipment supporting President Trump at his tower residence. Presidential military support requires that personnel maintain close proximity to the president. Available commercial space at Trump Tower costs about $1.5 million a year. Consumer news now. Twitter is expanding its efforts to protect users from abuse and harassment. The social media giant has began identifying people who have been banned for abusive behavior and will prevent them from starting new accounts. A new safe search feature is also being created. Other internet companies have taken recent steps to curb abusive behavior, but Twitter has been under fire for failing to address hate and abuse on its site since its founding a decade ago. Back in this area, ribbon cutting tonight for a new recycling center in Manatee County. Waste Pro hopes to hire 20 people at this $4 million plant. It'll process 2,000 tons per month of glass, metals, and plastic. It is located near the airport on 15th Street. It's a bizarre championship happening down under. People from all over the world are crowding into New Zealand for the World Sheep Shearing Championship. There are 6 categories. They include traditional blade shearing and wool handling, speed, wool quality, and the state of the sheep overall are judged. You can't make this up. Over 4,000 sheep are being trimmed during this tournament. Finals are set for Saturday. Well, the perk of filling in for Scott Dennis on the noon show is to have lunch at 1 o'clock when the newscast ends. Let's get back to Judy now for more on this great smelling thing she's doing right now.
Ray, and I'm glad that you like blue cheese because that's what it's all about today. We have a lot going on and finishing just pan searing the chicken breasts. I put 2 that were already done. Remember I said we're going to finish them off in the oven? Well, there they are. Here's this delicious bright asparagus. Let me cheat by using my fingers there. And I'm going to put some of that blue cheese butter that I already made. I'm going to show you how to make it right now. This is something you can make and it will stay in your refrigerator for a week. So you can have so much fun with it. You're basically going to take about 2 wedges from your blue cheese and just smash it into some soft butter. Now, the fun thing is, be creative. Use capers, use sun-dried tomatoes. It's going to be so good no matter what you do with it. But there's all sorts of options. You can even put in some black olives. So once that's made, what we're going to do is let me switch these pans around to show you. We're going to take the chicken that just came out of the oven and we're going to remove it from the pan because now it's time for the real goodness is going to happen. The thyme has given it some flavor. We have the shallots in there. So we're going to add some chicken stock just to get all the little brown pieces that are in the pan, get that going because I love, that's what we call fond, and that's got some really good flavor in there. We're going to reduce this by at least half, and then again, taking that blue cheese butter, we're going to go ahead and put some in. Let's get that right there. Careful. And then we can put some of the potatoes that are parboiled. You can even roast the potatoes with the asparagus. The potatoes are going to take about 25 minutes roasting in the oven, and then the asparagus obviously is going to be a shorter period of time. So as this reduces down, that butter melts right into everything and it makes it so flavorful. Let's pretend we've reduced it down for, probably about 4 minutes. And then what we do is we take those chicken breasts and we put them back in for that final minute. And that gets all that fantastic flavor going and all that blue cheese and the sauce. And we have to make sure we have enough sauce to go around for Ray too. Now I have some chopped bacon. And I pre-cooked that. Again, it was on sale, so I bought a pound and I portioned things out. So I have chicken breasts and bacon in my freezer so I can make this again. And the last thing we're going to do is add some chopped scallions. Right about now, the asparagus is ready. And even though there were two different sizes, like I showed you, some thick, some thin, just by turning it in the oven, they worked out that they're both perfect, which is great. You could even do this with Brussels sprouts. So we're going to take some asparagus, lay it on top, and we have such a good meal. But when we come back for a taste, I'm going to show you how to turn it into a second-day meal as well. I'll be back in a few minutes with lunch for Ray and John Scalzi.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Luxury for less at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $249 per month or 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Ideologue. I am an originalist.
Looking at an air temperature coming in at 75 degrees right now, but it's really the dew point that I think is interesting. Over the last 24 hours, we've seen dew points in the 60s, and right now it is pretty close to the 70-degree mark, which is pretty much summer-like. When it gets into the 70s, you really, really feel the humidity. 65, you kind of think, some folks do anyway, it's a little uncomfortable. Other people's like the humidity. But when it hits 70, most everybody says, yeah, it feels kind of humid. And we're almost there, thanks to the west component to our southwest wind, now at about 13. Across the region, temperatures are generally hovering pretty close to the 80 mark in inland areas and upper 70s to mid 70s closer to the coastline. The further you go toward the water, of course, the cooler it gets. 74 Venice, 73 Inglewood, even a 69 at Longboat Key, but then you start getting closer to the airport. You've got 75 in Sarasota. You got 78 in Bradenton, 79 in Parrish. Then you start getting into the 80s as you move further inland. So a pretty warm day, but no rain showers today. What we're still lacking in the atmosphere is a kind of a kicker, again, to get the atmosphere to lift. That little impulse that came through has left us with a somewhat stable atmosphere. And now what we need is another little kind of kicker. And that kicker comes in the form of this cold front back to the west. For today, high pressure lifts northward around that high pressure ridge. The little impulse continues to exit out into the Atlantic, and this trough of low pressure approaches. When it moves through here tomorrow, we'll get a little round of showers, and we'll see a wind shift. The wind shift will come out of the northeast. That'll draw down some drier air, and it'll draw down some cooler air. Today's departure from average temperatures will probably be about 6 to 8 degrees above the normal. I think by tomorrow we'll be just about at or maybe 1 or 2 degrees above the normal. So we'll drop about 6 degrees, 5 to 6 degrees tomorrow. Then on Saturday, I think we'll be pretty much at or even slightly below the normals for one day, and then we'll start to warm up again. But even if we do warm up on Sunday and Monday, we'll still be cooler than we are today and were yesterday. Sunshine returns, obviously humid afternoon, and then that front moves in tomorrow. Here's the RPM computer forecast. I think it gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on. I think it's fairly accurate in its depiction here. We got some cloud cover, got some rain showers still to the north thanks to that southwest wind flow. High pressure bringing us a nicer day today. And then tomorrow, the front itself actually moves through in the morning. We get some showers. It's gone early on, and most of the day looks nice. Tomorrow evening should be beautiful. Then the cooler air starts to filter in. I think by tomorrow afternoon, we'll see the temperatures continue to drop through the afternoon till we get back down to around 72 degrees or so. And overnight, tomorrow night, instead of in the 60s, we'll be in the 50s. And that'll be true on Saturday morning as well. So some pretty dramatic temperature differences and changes coming within a 24-hour period. South wind coming in at about 10 knots, light chop, 2-foot seas today. Now, when you have a temperature change like that, it's often accompanied by some breezy winds. Boaters, you know that. So tomorrow, boaters, watch the forecast because those winds will be elevated. As we head into the weekend, temperatures in the low 70s, pretty close to normal on Saturday, and then a slow warming trend begins thereafter. Back to you, Ray.
Very nice. Thank you, John. This month we are celebrating Black History Month. And here on the Suncoast, a local woman says she has witnessed the good and bad from segregation to integration, but in the end, she says she was blessed. ABC 7's Linda Carson has her story.
Mary Simmons Mack is Sarasota born and bred.
I call myself an Overtown kid. I was born over in what they call the Rosemary district now.
53 years ago, her family moved into the house in Newtown that she still lives in today. It was a full house.
There were 7 kids in here, 3 bedrooms. Boys' room, a girls' room, and my parents' room.
She graduated from Booker High School in 1964.
I wanted to go to Ringling, and wasn't allowed, of course. And then I wanted to go to Manatee, wasn't allowed. So Manatee County provided a bus for students who wanted to go to college. And there was Gibbs Junior College in St. Petersburg. So we traveled 70 miles a day.
Then she decided to travel.
I traveled by 12-way bus. And first trip I went to Pennsylvania. I lived in Pittsburgh. I was a welder there. I worked for Haskell's. I made office furniture. Came back home. I moved to Miami. I was a waitress. And my longest trip was to Los Angeles on a bus.
From LA, she planned to move to Atlanta.
And I came back here to see my mother and ran into my husband.
He was in the military, and they were stationed in Germany. When they returned to Newtown, Mary had a son and twin girls and worked as a deputy clerk in the Sarasota County court system. She's always been a driving force in her community, working to bring about improvements like the new Booker High School and the new Robert Taylor Center, and on countless other community projects.
I'm still involved. I'm part of Friends of Sarasota County Parks, and I work with 2 groups in the county, you know, volunteering and doing different things. And I'm also on the Newtown CRA.
She made sure her 3 children graduated from college, and recently, so did she.
I got my degree at Strayer and at 68, so any young person should never let anyone tell them what they can't do.
Mary's faith has helped her survive some very difficult times.
Trust God with all my heart.
And her life lesson?
The choices you make in your life that determines what happens.
Mary Mack, you are truly an amazing woman. Your children are doing great, you've got your college degree, and your community is a better place because you're here.
Thank you. Bless
Linda
you.
Carson,
Thank you.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Lovely person. Nice job, Linda. Thank you for that story. Well, it took 71 years, but a Texas woman finally received her high school diploma.
You may now move your tassel.
Frankie Sprayberry was hit by a drunk driver when she was a senior in high school. The crash left her unable to finish her senior year, but the time has finally come to fix that.
I have dreamed about this day, and it's finally here.
The new high school graduate is married with 4 children, and she says this experience has taught her that patience is a virtue. Well said. Patient indeed. Great story there. Up next, more lunch with Chef Judy. And it's being called the biggest land expansion ever. How Disney is bringing Star Wars to life. That's next in entertainment news.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Come out to the best party of the season, the Goodwill Mardi Gras Gala on February 28th at Michael's on E. Tickets at experiencegoodwill.org.
Join us for Sarasota Opera's 2017 Winter Festival, opening February 11th. Featuring Puccini's most famous opera, Madame Butterfly, Rossini's delightful comedy, The Italian Girl in Algiers, Poulenc's heartbreaking Dialogues of the Carmelites, and the medieval thriller, The Love of Three Kings by Italo Montemezzi. Tickets are on sale now. Call 941-328-1300 or visit sarasotaopera.org.
Florida's last private island is a waterfront lifestyle like no other. This is Harbor Isle, just 5 minutes from the sugar sand beaches of Anna Maria Island. This sun-splashed paradise invites you to enjoy natural adventures and all the recreation of a tropical resort. Island coach homes and waterfront condos are now available from the high 400s, plus incredible savings on move-in ready homes. Come tour 6 designer models. This is the time of your life. Make it island time at Harbor Isle. Go to mintofla.com now.
Gold fever is at an all-time high in the Sunshine State with the new Gold Rush Doubler family of scratch-off games. Everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. With over $1 billion in total cash prizes, the Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
My yard, it's overgrown, it's out of control, it's a huge problem.
I showed Randy our entire line of outdoor power equipment. We have everything he needs.
Ace is the place that lets you clear land like a modern-day pioneer. Yeah!
Don't miss these February red-hot buys on wild bird food and Scott's Bonus S Weed and Feed. 6 convenient Sarasota locations and now open in Bradenton, Northport, and soon Osprey.
Nobody beats Bacon's with Bassett. Rich finishes, beautiful colors, and over 1,000 different fabrics and leathers to choose from. Bassett Custom Furniture at Bacon's Furniture and Design in Sarasota. Right now, all custom premier sofas, upholstered headboards, and ottomans are 40% off. Don't miss this opportunity to get the custom ordered furniture you've been dreaming of for a limited time at 40% off. Only at Bacon's Furniture and Design in Sarasota. Nobody beats Bacon's.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
John
This
Scalzi
is really
got us.
good.
And
Delicious.
Thank you, John. Now, I want to remind everybody that not only did we pan-sear those chicken breasts, bring in that blue cheese butter, sprinkle it with some bacon. You can put the bacon right in the butter. I have a second meal out of this. The next day, nice romaine hearts. Take the grilled chicken, crumble up some blue cheese. I have sun-dried tomatoes on it and that crumbled bacon and some chopped chives, and it makes a whole nother meal. Maybe a little bright lemon on it, and you don't need dressing.
It's so good. Recipe on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining link button. Takes you right there. I'm right here, and I'm having another bite.
And Ray, I've got some just for you, so don't worry, buddy.
I'll be there in 7 minutes. Thank you. Back to the news now. Some sad news. One of the stars of Battlestar Galactica has passed away. Actor Richard Hatch was known as Captain Apollo back in the 1978 series. He was also a regular on shows like Love Boat, Fantasy Island, and Dynasty. He was battling pancreatic cancer. Richard Hatch was 71 years young. Jack Nicholson has a new film project. He'll be starring in the remake of the German comedy Toni Erdmann. It's about a father who tries to get his overworked adult daughter to lighten up. The film is up for a Best Foreign Language Oscar this year. The Oscars are 3 weeks away, and Hidden Figures has passed La La Land as the highest-grossing Best Picture nominee. The civil rights era space drama has taken in $119 million. The Oscars air Sunday night, February 26, right here on ABC 7. Randy Travis will be honored tonight with a star-studded tribute concert in Nashville. The country singer suffered a stroke more than 3 years ago that impacted his speech and almost claimed his life. Among the stars tonight, Garth Brooks, Kenny Rogers, and Winona. A portion of the show's proceeds will go to the Randy Travis Foundation, which raises money for stroke research and rehabilitation. Star Wars characters and their stories coming to life at Disney. The company is adding Star Wars-themed lands. The announcement was first made back in 2015. Concept art has been revealed for its attractions. It includes aliens, droids, and the Millennium Falcon that guests can board and pilot through space. Star Wars Land will open at California's Disneyland and Florida's Disney World in 2019. An opening date has also been announced for the new Avatar World. That opens May 27th at Disney World's Animal Kingdom. Lots of choices.
Wow,
that sounds great.
John Scalzi is going to be one of the first ones there, right, John?
Absolutely. That Avatar thing was great.
That was a great movie in itself,
too. It was a very good
Very
movie.
creative.
You know, one of the first real, true 3D movies.
I love that. You know, I never have seen Star Wars yet.
No.
It's on my to-do list. I've been very busy.
A rainy weekend is in your pajamas with popcorn
It's
is
not
how
too
you
late
do
to
it.
watch it
It's
now?
never too
Yeah, about
late.
half of them.
Yeah.
Have a nice afternoon, folks. Next news at 5.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.